Good afternoon, boys. Last time we have seen the concept of kinetic energy for rolling body along horizontal surface and along inclined plane. Let us go further. Now we see examples which are based on this chapter. To solve the examples, we should know certain formulae. Let us see one by one what are the formulae. List of formulae. First formula, we should know the concept of angle. In one rotation, angle subtended by the body or particle is 2 pi radian, or we can say that 360 degree. Suppose this is the body, it starts from x-axis. So in one complete rotation, the angle theta is equal to 2 pi, or we can write this equation in terms of like this: theta equal to 2 pi into 1 indicates one rotation. So we get theta is equal to 2 pi or 360 degree. In two rotations, see diagram. In two rotations, one complete 2 pi, again second complete 2 pi. That means total is 4 pi radian. So we can say that theta is equal to 4 pi radian, or we can write this as 2 pi into 2. So this 2 indicates two rotations. So we get 4 pi. Suppose if we consider three rotations, so one rotation 2 pi, second rotation 2 plus 2 4 pi, third rotation 4 plus 2 pi, that means 6 pi. So we can write theta is equal to 2 pi into 3, that means 6 pi. In general, suppose there are n rotation just like this: one rotation 2 pi into 1, two rotation 2 pi into 2, three rotations 2 pi into 3 is equal to theta. In n rotations, so number n rotations are there, so we get theta is equal to twice pi into n. So we should know this angle while solving some examples. Then we should know certain formulae which are similar to linear or translational motion. We know formulae in linear motion. We all know this standard formulae. From 5th standard we know this standard formulae. We compare with rotational motion. For example, number 1, velocity is given by rate of change of displacement, that means displacement upon time, or we can say that d upon t. The standard formula is there. Very similar, analogous. Omega is equal to rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time. So we get theta upon t. Number 2, we know that in case of linear motion or translational motion, acceleration is given by a is equal to dv upon dt, or we can say that v2 minus v1 upon t. The standard formula we have seen number of times in previous standard. In comparison, in rotational motion, we write in place of a alpha, angular acceleration is equal to rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time. So d omega upon dt, so we can write alpha is equal to omega 2 minus omega 1. Just comparison, just like v2 minus v1 upon t, here we get omega 2 minus omega 1 upon t. A simple comparison is there. Number 3, F force is equal to mass into acceleration. In rotational motion, we have seen that the role played by force in linear motion is very similar to the role played by torque. Torque produces rotational motion. In other words, I can say that for rotation, torque is compulsory, just like force is necessary to move the body along straight line. Similarly, for rotation, the torque is compulsory. If force does not exist, motion does not exist. Similarly, torque does not exist, rotation does not exist. So F is equal to m into a, and we have seen the relation torque is equal to I into alpha, where I indicates moment of inertia and alpha indicates angular acceleration. Number 4, P is equal to m into v. What is P? Linear momentum. Mass into linear velocity. In case of angular momentum, the formula is L is equal to I omega, moment of inertia and omega. Omega indicates angular velocity. Mass and moment of inertia, both are similar quantities or analogous quantities. Number 5, kinetic energy is given by 1/2 mv square, and here kinetic energy is given by 1/2 I omega square. Now next comparison, next formulae with respect to linear motion and rotational motion. Number of times we require kinematical equation. We know that in kinematical equation is given by v is equal to u plus at, where v indicates final velocity, u indicates initial velocity, a indicates acceleration and t indicates time. In the same way, in case of rotational motion, we write omega. So in place of v, we write omega, final rotational velocity or final angular velocity is equal to omega 0. That means initial angular velocity plus alpha t. So in place of a, we write alpha. Very similar to understand. Here v, in place of v, we write omega. In place of u, we write omega 0, and in place of a, we write alpha. And t does not changes. Value of time in case of linear motion and in case of rotational motion is remain constant. So symbol for time in case of linear motion and in case of rotational motion is same. So very similar to understand, very simple to understand this thing. Second kinematical equation is given by, we know standard formula S equal to ut plus 1 half at square. Here S indicates displacement, u indicates initial velocity, t indicates time, a indicates acceleration. So here in case of rotational motion, displacement is given in terms of angle. So angular displacement theta. So in place of S we write theta. Then in place of u we write initial angular velocity omega 0 t plus 1 half alpha. In place of a we write alpha t square as it is. Now third kinematical equation, v square is equal to u square plus twice as. So here in place of v square we write omega square is equal to omega 0 square plus twice alpha into theta. S indicates displacement in linear motion, theta indicates displacement in angular or rotational motion. So this comparison you should know. We require this formula while solving the examples. Then we should know the concept of or formula for moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is given by I is equal to m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus mn rn square, or we can write this as equal to summation I running from 1 to n mi ri square, or we write this as summation mr square. And we have seen the concept of radius of gyration. I is equal to mk square. So we can say that k square is equal to I upon m. So we get roots of both sides. Under root k square is equal to under root left hand side I upon m, or we get a perfect square outside. So k is equal to under root I upon m. Here summation, this symbol is used when we know exact number of particles. If body consists of n number of particles, we can use this formula. But suppose if we don't know number of particles, then we have to replace this symbol by integration. Now suppose if we don't know the number of particles, in that typical case also we can find out moment of inertia of the body. Now here formula is somewhat changed. I is equal to integration. So in place of summation, the symbol is now integration. Meaning of summation and integration is just nothing but addition. R square dm. So you have to imagine that the body consists of identical particles of mass dm, or we consider that the body consists of identical elements of mass dm and which are placed at the same distance from the axis of rotation, namely r. So addition of all these particles by using integration, what we get is moment of inertia. We should know this formula. Then we have seen the concept of velocity along horizontal circular path. We know formula v is equal to under root mu r g. So v depends upon three factors: coefficient of static friction, radius of circular path, and gravitational acceleration. The next formula is velocity along banked road. So v is equal to under root rg tan theta. With the help of this, we can find out the value of velocity, maximum speed with which vehicle can be driven along banked road. And suppose if we consider the concept of friction, if we consider the concept of mu s, then this formula we can replace it by V equal to under root Rg in a bracket tan theta minus mu s upon mu s minus 1 minus mu s into tan theta. So we should know this formula. There are some example based upon this formula and this formula. Sometimes the coefficient of static friction is also given. So we can use this formula. Then we have seen the concept of conical pendulum. Again we require three things. In examination, three things can be asked. Either V, omega or T. So we should know standard formula. We have seen this formula, V is equal to under root Rg tan theta, which is same as this formula. Then we obtain omega is equal to under root G upon H, where G indicates gravitational acceleration, H indicates height of conical pendulum. And we have seen that period, that means T, capital T is equal to twice pi under root L cos theta upon G, where L indicates length of the simple pendulum or conical pendulum, theta indicates semi-conical angle, and G gravitational acceleration. Now we see next formula with respect to vertical circular motion. So this VCM is possible with the help of string also and with the help of rod or stick also. So we can imagine a piece of stone tied by a string which is rotating in a vertical plane. So this is VCM. At top point, that means at point A, the minimum speed with which this circular motion is possible, that means critical velocity at point A, top point, is we have seen under root R into G, and tension at this typical point TA is equal to mg plus m into Va square upon R. So because both weight and tension are directed in vertical downward direction, weight and this tension are added. So we get at top point TA, that means T1, mg plus 1/2 plus m into Va square upon R. So this is the formula for tension at top point by string in VCM. Now bottom point means lowest point. This is point B is lowest point, and we have seen the formula VB, lowest point. Velocity is given by under root 5 Rg. So we should know this formula. And tension, now in this case both are exactly opposite. Tension upward direction and weight downward direction. So we get Tb is equal to mVb square upon R minus mg. We have seen this part in previous article. And third point is middle point, that means Vc is equal to under root 3 Rg. These are the standard formula. Similarly, in case of VCM by rod or stick, 3 points are important: top point, middle point and bottom point. And we have seen the formula at top point. Because of stick, even though velocity at point A is 0, the motion is possible. So VA, velocity of the particle at point A, can be 0 even though VCM is possible. But in this case it is not possible because string slacks down. So VA is not equal to 0. If it is 0, it is slacked down and there is no VCM. But in this case, because of stick or rod, the motion is possible. So VA is equal to 0, it is possible. And we know that velocity cannot be negative. So below this, there is no velocity. So if we say that velocity is less than 0, that means negative, which does not exist. So we cannot imagine velocity having negative value. Then middle point. Bottom point. So bottom point. At bottom point, we are seeing the formula for velocity with which VCM is possible is under root 4 Rg. And at middle point, that means at point C, for VCM, we should get Vc is equal to under root 2 Rg. Now, difference in tension at bottom point and at top point. The difference between these tensions is 6 mg. In both cases, in VCM by string and VCM by stick or rod, in both cases we get difference in tension at bottom point and at top point is 6 mg. Now rolling body, we have seen that kinetic energy for rolling body is given by 1 half mv square in bracket 1 plus k square upon r square, where m indicates mass of the body, v indicates speed of the body, k indicates radius of gyration and r indicates radius of the body. Then rolling body along inclined plane, and we obtain expression v is equal to under root twice gh upon 1 plus k square upon r square, and we have seen acceleration a is equal to g tan theta upon 1 plus k square upon r square. Then we have seen the perpendicular axis theorem, Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy, and we have seen parallel axis theorem, IO is equal to Ic plus mr square, where IO indicates moment of inertia about any point and C indicates center of mass. So moment of inertia of the body at center of mass. So we have to imagine an axis passing through the any point O, and we have to imagine a parallel axis passing through the center of mass, plus m into r square. M indicates mass of the body and r indicate distance between point O and point C, or we can say that the axis at point O and axis at center of mass. We should know moment of inertia of different symmetrical bodies or symmetrical objects. Let us see one by one. In our syllabus, which objects are considered? First object is thin ring or hollow cylinder. So axis, when body rotates, so we get axis of rotation. We have seen the concept of axis of rotation. So this axis is central, just like this. A ring is there. So the ring rotates about an axis which passes through its center. For symmetric body, center is the point of symmetry or center point, midpoint, center of mass. So this point is the center of mass, the point of symmetry. So line which is perpendicular to the plane and passing through center of mass, it's called as transverse axis. So in this typical case, axis is this, and we get moment of inertia is equal to capital M into R square. We should know this formula. Second body is thin ring. The diameter is now, axis is now changed, diameter. That means the axis which passes through the plane. In previous case, this axis was perpendicular to the plane. Now here the axis is now in the plane. So difference is clear. Or we imagine these both are together, then this axis is perpendicular to diameter. So diameter is in the plane. So in this typical case, the value of moment of inertia comes out to be 1 upon 2 times m into r square, where r indicates radius of this typical ring. The third object is annular ring, or we can say that thick walled hollow cylinder. Again, axis is passing through point of symmetry, center point of the body, the center of mass of the body, the point of symmetry, like this midpoint is the center point, point of symmetry. Line which passes through the center of mass, midpoint, point of symmetry, and perpendicular to the plane of the body. This axis is called as a central axis. So there are two types of radius. One radius from this point to this ring, and outer radius. So bigger ring is there. This is hollow. So R1 and this typical distance biggest side from this point to the end point, it's R2. From this point to inner point, it's R1. Radius is there. In that typical case, we get value of moment of inertia equal to 1 upon 2 times m into R2 square plus R1 square, or we can say that R square nothing but the combination of two radius, R2 square plus R1 square. So we should know this formula. The next object is uniform disc or solid cylinder. Again, axis is central, and expression for moment of inertia in this case I is equal to 1 upon 2 mr square, and we get diagram like this. So we should know this formula. Then next object is uniform disc. So again here axis is along diameter, small change is there now, passes through the diameter. And in this typical case, value of I comes out to be 1 upon 4 times mr square, where r indicates radius. So here axis is in the plane of disk. Here axis is perpendicular to the plane of the disk. Difference is there. Then number 6, thin walled hollow sphere. Again axis is central and value of moment of inertia is 2 upon 3 mr square, and we should know this diagram. Hollow sphere, emptiness is there, only boundary is there, just like a circle, a three-dimensional figure. It is a sphere and axis passing through center of body, point of symmetry, midpoint, center of the sphere. The next object is solid sphere, and axis is passing through center point, point of symmetry, central, and value of moment of inertia is comes out to be 2 upon 5 mr square. This is the diagram where r indicates radius of this sphere. It is a three-dimensional concept. So here proof is not required. We should know the standard formula. Then uniform symmetric spherical shell. Again the axis passes through center point of symmetry, that means central, and here value of I comes out to be I equal to 2 upon 5 r2 raised to 5 minus r1 raised to 5 divided by r2 raised to 3 minus r1 raised to 3, and diagram is the shell, r1 inner radius, r2 outer radius of the shell. Then next object is thin uniform rod, or we can say that a rectangular plane. Here the axis is passing through the center point and perpendicular to its length, and value of moment of inertia comes out to be ml square upon 12, ml square upon 12. So value number is 12 here. And say diagram, this is a rod or rectangular plane, and axis is perpendicular to the length of the rod and passing through the point of symmetry, that means center of mass, and length from this to this L by 2, from this to this L by 2. So total length is capital L. The next object is again uniform rod. Now here the axis is now changed perpendicular to its length and passing through its one end. Just like this, see diagram. A rod is there and axis passing through one end. So body is rotating about this axis. So this is the axis. Rotation is about the axis, and here is the length. Capital L is the length of the rod. In this typical case, value of I, moment of inertia, rotational mass comes out to be ml square upon 3. The next object is uniform plate. Here again axis passing through center point, that means center of mass, point of symmetry, central, and just like this diagram, this is the plate, this is the length, this typically is the length, this typically is the breadth, this is the axis, dotted indicates axis passing through center of mass, point of symmetry, and in this typical case we get value of I as moment of inertia of the plate is 1 upon 12 m L square plus B square bracket complete. Now next object is uniform solid right circular cone. The axis passing through the central, that means point of symmetry, midpoint, center of mass. In this case axis, because of this axis, the value of moment of inertia comes out to be 3 upon 10 mr square, where m indicates mass of the body, r indicates radius of this typical circular cone. See diagram. This is solid cone, so nothing hollowness is there, a solid body is there. This is the axis. The last object is now uniform hollow, empty, right circular cone. Again the axis is same, central, passing through the point of symmetry. Then value of I, moment of inertia, comes out to be 1 upon 2 times mr square, and this is the diagram. So why you should know this formula? So all objects are explained in this table, and examination there are some examples based on this formula. So we should know value of moment of inertia with respect to their axis of rotation. It is very important. While solving the example, the practice, because of practice, you understand all formulas. So without practice, if you do the example, it is difficult. So go for practice, solve more examples, then and then you will remember all these tables. So in this typical case, this value of I, the proof is not included in our syllabus. We should know only formulae. So next time we'll see the actual examples based on these formulae. Now we stop here.